Welcome to the Commercial Excellence Academy by Asbiverse Group. Today, we're diving into something really powerful. It's called the route-to-shopper methodology, and we're going to look at it through the lens of a fascinating industry, the alcoholic beverages sector. Now, this is one of the most dynamic and, let's be honest, complex consumer landscapes out there. So, let's jump right in.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Think about it. You've poured your heart and soul into a brilliant brand strategy, right? You've got a fantastic product, a killer marketing plan, but does it actually reach the shopper in the way you intended? Or does it, get lost somewhere in translation between the boardroom and the bar? That disconnect, man, it's one of the biggest challenges we see in the industry.
Well, bridging that gap is exactly what this is all about. You see, it all comes down to connecting three absolutely crucial dots. First, having deep shopper insight. Second, using that insight to have effective influence all along the path to purchase. And third, and this is the big one, flawless execution at that final moment of truth. And today, we're going to see exactly how the route-to-shopper methodology makes all of that possible.
So let's get into the core methodology. At its heart, it's a really simple but incredibly powerful idea. For brands and their channel partners to truly be aligned, they need a shared language, a unified approach. And the best way to think about it is as a tale of two frameworks.
Okay, so what's the big idea here? Well, the route-to-shopper methodology focuses on integrated shopper-based value creation, which is enabled by the Guide Paths framework. Now, that might sound a little formal, but what it really means is that the goal isn't just to sell more stuff. It's about creating a win-win-win. A win for the brand, a win for the retailer, and most importantly, a win for the shopper. And the engine that drives all of this? It's that dual framework we call Guide and Paths.
So, what are Guide and Paths? The easiest way to think about them is like two sides of the very same coin. On one side, you've got Guide. This is all about the brand or the manufacturer's perspective. It's asking, how can our brand optimize its strategy to drive the shopper to purchase? Then you flip the coin over and you've got Paths. That's the retailer or the channel partner's perspective. They're asking, how can our channel optimize its environment to drive that same shopper purchase? See, they're not competing at all. They're totally complementary. It's all about creating strategic symmetry, making sure everyone is pulling in the exact same direction.
All right, let's break down Guide first. Think of this as the brand's playbook. It's a simple acronym. G is for grow the shopper base. U is for unlock bigger baskets. I is for increase purchase cycles. D is for drive sustainable profits. And E is for enable cross-functional excellence. So this is basically the manufacturer's roadmap for creating real value.
And of course, it has a perfect counterpart, Paths. If Guide is the playbook, then Paths is the channel's blueprint for execution. P stands for presentation excellence. A is for assortment optimization. T for team engagement. H for holistic supplier integration. And finally, S for shopper insight application. This is what gives retailers and other partners a really structured way to bring that brand vision to life, right where it matters.
Okay, that's the theory. But how does this all work in the real world? Now let's bring this to life for the alcoholic beverages sector. This is where it gets really interesting. Because while the core principles of Guide and Paths are universal, their real power comes from how you adapt them. And believe me, in the world of spirits, wine, and beer, the shopper's journey has its own very unique set of rules. So let's trace a typical shopper journey, because it's almost never a straight line. Picture this. It might start with awareness. Maybe a consumer sees a really slick, targeted ad for a new craft gin on their social media feed. Then comes consideration. A week later, they're at their favorite bar and see that exact gin featured in a signature cocktail. That experience in what we call the on-premise channel often drives the purchase decision in the off-premise channel, buying a bottle at a supermarket or a specialty store to try at home. And finally, the experience itself. Enjoying it, sharing it with friends, that closes the loop and influences the whole cycle all over again.
And this is where you can really see how these frameworks adapt. Let's take two totally different channels. First, a supermarket. Here, a brand using the Guide principles might focus on creating effective promotional packs. The retailer, using Paths, is all about executing the planogram perfectly and making sure the price communication is clear. Now let's jump over to a high-end hotel bar. The brand's Guide lever isn't a promo pack anymore, it's providing amazing staff training on the brand's story. And the bar's Paths lever, it's all about premium presentation and co-developing that signature cocktail menu. See, it's the same frameworks, but the execution is completely different. And that adaptability is precisely what makes this approach so powerful.
All right, so we've got the strategy and we've got the channel-specific plan.
But we all know a great strategy is only as good as its execution, right? So now we're going to talk about closing that final critical gap, the one between your intent and the actual impact it has.
And here's why that execution is just so critical. Get ready for this number. Somewhere between 70 and 80% of purchase decisions are made right there at the point of purchase. We're talking at the shelf, at the bar, on the app. That is the moment of truth. Everything you do, all the strategy, all the planning, it all leads to this one single point. And that's why winning there is absolutely non-negotiable. And just a quick note, by the way, all figures we're using here are for illustrative and training purposes only.
This next thought really captures the essence of the whole thing. Together, Guide and Paths connect strategy to shelf, or the point of purchase, and intent to impact. It's that simple. Guide provides the strategic direction, the what and the why from the brand. Paths provides the execution blueprint, the how and the where for the channel. And when they work together, they create this unbreakable link. It's what ensures a brand's intent is perfectly translated into real shopper impact.
And when you get this integration right, man, the results are so tangible. You start to see way better alignment between your internal teams and your external partners. A lot of that old friction just dissolves. Your execution becomes much more consistent no matter the channel. The shopper insights you gather become deeper, more actionable. And all of this leads to what we're all after: sustainable growth built on stronger shopper relationships.
Okay, so we've covered the core concepts and we've seen how they work in action. For this last part, let's take a moment for reflection. Let's bring this all back to you and to your organization.
I want you to really think about this question. How could Guide Paths thinking change the way your organization plans, collaborates, and delivers value to shoppers? Seriously, take a second. Whether you're on the brand side or the channel side, how could this dual perspective approach change the way you plan things out, the way you collaborate with your partners, and, at the end of the day, the value you deliver to your shoppers?
Thanks for your engagement. For more details on individual modules and for custom creation, do get in touch. Best wishes and goodbye from all of us at the Commercial Excellence Academy by Asbiverse Group.